my February Empties video. I'm in a new and hopefully better lit apartment. There's a couple books I read that I don't have with me because I moved. The first is The History of Sketch Comedy by Keegan-Michael and Al Key. I thought this was really fun and expanded on what I learned in college, and also that it had a kind of, that it's in his voice in a way that's kind of funny. So I thought he had Keegan-Michael Key, I thought he had kind of a funny way of talking about educational stuff. Edutainment, if you will. Second book I read was Inside Out by Demi Moore. This was a gift from Kaz. Shout out Kaz. She's got some crazy stories. Crazier even than you would think. Okay? And it was a good book. I found it very interesting, but I would definitely look up trigger warnings if you read it. And then lastly, a book that I do have here with me is The Free People's Village by Sim Kern. I got this from my sister for Christmas a couple years ago. Shout out my sister. This book it made me laugh. It tore me apart. It made me think. It was very thinky, very interesting, political stuff, political meditations, not really being like, this is the way forward, but just being like, these are all the perspectives you could consider, and also a really compelling story. This is another one where I would definitely look up trigger warnings. If you read it, there's some really hard stuff in there, but they do handle it with a lot of care, and it's the only piece of media I think I've ever consumed where a character uses neopronouns. So that was pretty cool. Loved it. It tore me apart. Thank you. And shout out to my mom. She made this wonderful bookmark for me where I can kind of log all the books I've read, give them star ratings. Okay, and so that's been a fun element also of finishing books, is I get to log them in my little thing, which you know I love. A lot of movies this month. I'm mainly blaming Owen. I don't know if they're so responsible, but kind of. Okay, first up, Last Crusade. This was way better than Temple of Doom in my opinion. Loved the dad, but I missed the kid. This basically lived up to the hype. My favorite part is when the dog pees on the pool table twice. Best product placement I think I've ever seen in anything is the subway scene in this movie. Also the best scene in the movie, I think. So funny. Overall, kind of nuts. You get the idea. The trailer, I would say, accurately reflects the tone of the movie. Rest in peace to Catherine O'Hara. So sad to lose her. And this movie is obviously so good. It's a classic. And I feel like I got it more than when I was a kid and watched it. And my favorite character is the one that Christopher Guest plays. He's just kind of a cutie. And he loves puppets. Falling down the hill scene is maybe the best scene in this movie. Sleeper hit is when Bill Hader goes to the hospital. That's what I think. Saw this movie this month, went to this museum this month. The T-Rex is not in the front still, but it was worth it. Not a movie, but this came out this month. Mike's My Gossip Girl recap season 5, which I was thrilled about. Actually, it might have come out last month, but then I had to watch season 5 of Gossip Girl and then watch the video. And basically, it was great. Love his commentary. And the part that I was hoping he would comment on the most that he did was there's a part where Chuck wears a very hilarious red jumpsuit. It's so out of character for him. Every other scene he's wearing a suit. So it was pretty awesome. Loved it. Patty's in Peru came out on streaming. So we played it as a drinking game again. This time it was Henry and I, and also Owen and Henry's girlfriend Jaya. And the thing that probably made us drink the most, if you drink every time it happens, you're gonna be drinking a lot throughout this movie, is to drink every time someone falls down. It's so funny how often it happens. And I would say the best prediction that was like most exciting when it came true was Owen predicted that the bad guy's plot will revolve around an important jewel or piece of jewelry. So those were our biggest hits, I would say. It's amazing for how freaky he looks in this movie that it's more sad than scary, I would say. Just such an aching love story with a crazy ending. And he kind of looks not very much like a fly. So I guess if I made it, I'd made him look I'd make him look more like a fly, but I think that would make it less freaky. Do with that what you will. I decided to watch all of the Scream movies in anticipation of Scream 7 coming out this month, and this was the only one I watched this month, don't worry. And I thought this one was really good. I'm impressed with how they keep kind of adding to the meta, the layers of the meta, you know, situation. And I'm kind of wondering how they'll keep that up going forward. I've heard the fourth one is bad. Big argument between Owen and Dagan about whether this movie is good, and more specifically, as good as Harry and the Hendersons. My review from watching it, haven't seen Harry and the Hendersons, is I really liked it, loved the plot. I thought there was like some fun kind of campy twists and stuff like that. Really kind of love wins in a way that I really liked. My two complaints were, I thought a lot of the scenes went on longer than they needed to. It has like the pacing of an artsy movie, but then a lot of what's good about it is like what's good about like fun family movies. So like there's like kind of a uncanniness to that. And then also there's like a lot of CGI to make the world look really like vivid and cartoony, which I think is a fun choice, but I just didn't love how it came out when they're like outside. When they're inside and when they're racing, it looks great. And they're not outside that much of the time that they're not racing. But, you know, those were my critiques, but I liked it a lot. And I'll have to watch Harry and the Hendersons and weigh in. This is such a fun Tim Robinson property. In some ways, it's maybe my favorite. And I really loved it. I just wish there was more of it. I wish there was more of it, but I get that that's how TV goes. But I don't want to get it, and I won't rest. This was a Dimension 20 season, Gladlands. It was a side quest. I thought it was phenomenal. I honestly feel like the people I know didn't watch it that much, or like didn't stay on top of it as it was coming out. If you haven't finished it, I would really recommend finishing it, because I feel like it's really good, and I also feel like it gets better as it builds. Like there's some really compelling stuff that happens with character in the second half. You know, I cried, and that doesn't take a lot. So I don't know, you know, don't take my word for it, but you could watch it if you wanted to. I finished my first video game in a while, I think, Jenny LeClue. This was a cute mystery puzzle game with a surprisingly complicated, intriguing plot. Kind of a cliffhanger at the end. Okay, spoiler alert, sorry. I think maybe they're gonna do a sequel, but there's not one yet, and I'm kind of unsatisfied. There's some things I want to know. Legitimately one goop this month. I think 2025 was an anomaly for goops. Okay. I use this conditioner all the time. I finished it. I actually have a bar conditioner now because I got it for Christmas, so you'll be hearing about that later. And that's it for goops. But that's not everything, because I also did a bunch of little mending tasks this month. I have this little kind of couch that had some spots where it was coming apart, so I just sewed those up and along here. Okay. And we also have these hanging shelves, taking you on a little tour of the house, where this had to kind of come apart and this guy had come off. Can't have that, so I just sewed it back together. I also fixed this magnet. I don't know where this is from, it's Dagan's, and one of the little magnet pieces had come off, so I just hot glued it back on. Easy peasy. And a while ago, not this month, I made these Dagan and Sienna dolls. Sienna's smile was kind of coming off, so I hot glued that back down. Easy peasy. Okay, and then I did a couple clothing things. I have this yellow polo. I love this shirt. It had a little hole, so I embroidered a little heart on it, cover up the hole. And then also I had these blue sweatpants, had a little hole, and I was just gonna kind of do like a patch embroider over it, but then it kind of ended up looking like a fish, so I did it as a little fish. So there you go. Just fix those holes up so I can keep wearing them. And very lastly but not least, I moved famously, so you know, empty would be the house, all the boxes, more so the boxes, because it was my parents' house I was leaving, and so it's still got their stuff in it. Okay, it's not empty. They're not that minimalist. Okay, Marie Kondo didn't wipe out everything they own. And I also want to shout out My cousin Emily got me this tripod for my phone, which is so nice and easier than stacking a bunch of books and things around my room to set my phone on and then having to put all that stuff away at the end of the video. So thank you, Emily, for this Christmas gift. She also got me a weird kind of pickle thing that I think I'm gonna film a video eating. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching. That's all now. And happy Lunar New Year, that's today. And happy Ramadan, and happy I moved.